So, hello guys, I am Shok Sawalkar and I welcome you to Codesters, the programming channel that you should surely follow if you want to get the latest guidance, the latest news, and the latest tutorials for the programming and the coding world. So, guys, this is a second video, and this video is about the complete web development roadmap 2020-2021. So, even if you're thinking of beginning your web development journey in 2021, this video will be really helpful for you. So, without any waste of time, let's get started. So, guys, the way towards a full stack web developer. So, what is a full stack web developer? A developer who can create a fully functional and end-to-end application on his own. Okay, so a web developer who knows everything like databases, he knows the front end, he knows how to design, he knows how to attach images, or maybe everything in the website, then he is a full stack web developer. So if he is given like to clone an Amazon website, then he can do it on his own, though it is impractical because it will be a lot of hectic and it will take a lot of time. So this is the reason why companies have a lot of full stack web developers. The sections in web development are the front end, the back end, the APIs, and the databases. Okay, don't get confused by these terms. We'll be seeing this in the coming slides. So yeah, the front end web development. So what is the front end web development? So the front end web development is like how the website is going to look on the internet. Like when you go to a website, how the website looks to you is the front end of the website. Now you need to learn some technologies in order to be a front end web developer, and these are divided into two sections. That is the fundamentals and must, and the frameworks and libraries. So fundamentals and must are the part that you can't really skip. They are used everywhere, and yeah, skipping it isn't a good idea. Okay. So yeah, the first is HTML, CSS, and the JavaScript. These are fundamental and a must because these are the building blocks of any website. So what is HTML? It is used to structure content on the web page. So like if it is also used for add elements in the web page. Like if there is an image, then I will use a HTML tag of image. Okay, don't go into the tags. It's the technical part of the language. So yeah, what is CSS3? CSS3 is all about styling the website. Now you can see like this is yellow and this text is bigger than this text. So if this was a website, I would do these things like giving this a yellow color or making this text bigger and changing the font with the help of CSS. So making the website look beautiful, making the website look attractive is the work of CSS. JavaScript. So now you can see these slides are really boring. Even if I click somewhere, there are no buttons to click, and you're really getting bored. If a website was like this, you would get really bored. So what is JavaScript? It is used to interactivity, like uh, when you click a button, what will happen, or when you do something, how the web page is going to respond to you. That's all about JavaScript. Frameworks and libraries. So guys, we'll see this in the later videos, like what are frameworks and libraries. For now, you can consider it that they are things that make your life really easy during coding. Okay. What is Bootstrap? So Bootstrap is a HTML, CSS, JavaScript framework. When you come to Bootstrap, I'm going to teach you about it later. So when you come to Bootstrap, you're going to love it because it's just like copy pasting the code and creating a really beautiful website. You can also customize the website. So many people say that they look bootstrap-ish. So I'm not going to learn it. No, Bootstrap is really powerful. And even if you don't know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, that Bootstrap can replace it, but I wouldn't recommend to skip this part because it's really important. When it comes to customization, you will need these three. The React.js. What is React.js? A JavaScript UI development library. Okay, I will show you the website of React and then I'll explain it accordingly. What is Angular? A TypeScript-based framework. So what is TypeScript? Well, TypeScript is a language just like JavaScript, and it's really very similar to JavaScript. If you decide to move from JavaScript to TypeScript, it will be like within a week or something. The Vue.js, it's also a JavaScript framework. What is it? What did I said? React is a JavaScript library, while these two are frameworks, gigantic frameworks. Okay. Yeah, just let's go to the website. If you go to this website, this is the React website. You can see, a JavaScript library used for building user interfaces. So how the website is going to look. And these three, the React, Angular, and the Vue, are used to replace pure server-side technology. Now these technologies handle some things that were done previously on the server side. Okay, that also you don't take, don't be really confused about it. We'll be explaining it in the further videos. So yeah, this is UI development library. So what is UI? It is the user interface. So how the user is going to see the interface. Angular. What is Angular? It is one framework, mobile and desktop. So you can develop mobile and desktop web apps with Angular. Angular is a gigantic framework if you compare to React. React is a small JavaScript library. Now, what is Vue? This is also a JavaScript framework, and yeah, it's a what is the title? The progressive JavaScript framework. Yeah, so you can see like Vue.js is also a framework similar to Angular. Just the thing is that Angular is in TypeScript. Coming back to our presentation. So yeah, we are done with the front end. So what do you need for the front end? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, the Bootstrap, and then maybe if you want, then you can learn React, Angular, or Vue.js. Like you need to learn one of them, at least because today they have a really good hold in the market. Okay. Coming to the back-end web development. Now, most of the important processes that take place on a website take place in the backend. So this is the most important part of any website, okay? So why do you need a backend? So some processes can't really take place on the front end, like uh, you know, sending online transactions or maybe downloading images. The image can't be kept on the front end for the download. So yeah, you need a backend for that, a server for that, okay? And there are many languages that are used here. That is the Python, Django. Okay, what is Django? Django is a high-level Python framework. Python is a language itself, and Django is a framework built on Python. It's really strong. I really love it. I personally use it. Then the Node Express. So Node Express is a JavaScript runtime. Node is a JavaScript runtime. Well, Express is a framework on Node. Okay, Express makes things easy. Again, Node is a JavaScript runtime, and this is also these two languages are highly recommended. Okay, JavaScript and Python is highly recommended. And yeah, why this is famous among web developers? So when you learn JavaScript in the front end, then many of the web developers feel that why should I learn some other language for the backend development when I have an option for JavaScript? So many of them directly get into Node because they actually know JavaScript and then they continue into it. And there's a really famous stack by the name Merge stack. So this everything is in JavaScript, ERN. So what is Merge stack? It's MongoDB. It's a database. E is Express, that is a framework on Node I told you. R is React, and N is Node. So these three things are fully on JavaScript. If you learn one language, you can do everything related to web development. So yeah, this is really very famous among web developers. And the PHP Laravel. So I personally didn't use this. I personally use these both, but I have a really good feedback on the PHP too. That is very famous among web developers. And if you know, Facebook uses PHP still. So guys, coming to APIs and databases, this is a really important part in web development. And so what are databases? So from the name itself, you come to know that it is used for storing data in any website. So if you give a username and a password to some website, it always, if the password is wrong, it doesn't allow you to enter the website. So that's the thing that they have some relations between that. And yeah, so you come to know that the data is stored somewhere so that it can retrieve it, it can check it, and then it can allow you to log in. So database is used to store everything inside a website. So like if you are on Facebook, you post your video, it isn't going to disappear after 1 or 2 days. So you understand, like even after 1 year, you come, the photo is going to be there or the video is going to be there. So that is stored in a database, in the Facebook database. Okay. So this makes your photos, videos, and other content on the website permanent. So yeah, as I answered this, what are they used for? They are used for storing the data in any website. The types of databases are SQL and NoSQL. So what is SQL? SQL is structured query language. It's really famous and big, huge companies use it, like the MySQL here, which I've written here. It is used in a lot of big companies, and even if a company is progressing towards a big company, I would prefer to tell them that MySQL is really a good choice for you. And now SQLite. So SQLite became famous when Django adopted it. Like Django has a default database which you get while installing Django. That's the SQLite, DB SQLite, and it's also really powerful, but only in the small and medium-sized applications. When it comes to big applications, it will crash, or maybe it's not going to work that fine in big applications. The MongoDB. The MongoDB is an example of a NoSQL database. It doesn't use the SQL queries or the the structured query language for the retrieving the data from the database or sending the data to the databases, and etc. There are a lot of databases. You can check it out. The SQL itself has a lot of databases related to it. Okay, there are many databases to follow the SQL thing. Okay, what are APIs? So what does an API stand for? That stands for Application Programming Interface. Okay, and API is the way your website or your server, not a website, the server talks with the front end. Okay, and also the APIs are not only about website, they're used everywhere. Now if you have a Django backend, then creating an API, you can talk with your Android app also. So this is the for simplifying this, I will give you an example. Like if you go to a restaurant and sit there, and now you decide the order, and there is a staff that is working in the kitchen, but how is the staff going to come to know what's your order? Like, are you going to go there? No, the waiter comes there, he takes your order and he transfers it to the staff. Now, the waiter can be considered as an API. He takes your data, he takes it to the kitchen staff, and then after that, the kitchen staff prefers something and brings it back to you. So we can consider that you are the front end and the kitchen staff is the back end. Now, how is the interaction taking place? Through a medium that is a waiter. So that can be a good example of how APIs work. Okay. And so guys, this is all about today's video. If you see, we did a lot about web development. So summarizing, if you want to be a complete web developer, I would say learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript in the front end, and then select a language. I would say Python for the back end, and then learn a database, maybe MySQL and SQLite or maybe MongoDB. All of them are good. And for this, you can refer to any YouTube channel. And there's a news that we are bringing that we are releasing our web development course very soon. Like we are releasing means we are just preparing them out now. We'll bring a web development course. We'll be teaching you about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, and then we will teach you about Python and then Django. So really, guys, if you want to catch up with this content, go subscribe to the channel right now. Please don't miss it and press the bell icon. We'll be releasing it really soon. And yeah, I hope you are excited. That's all for today, guys. Hope to see you in the next video.